Iran's president says Tehran is ready to assure the world that it is not seeking nuclear weapons as a preliminary deal between Iran and the U.S. begins to emerge. For more on what's next, let's bring in former U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander Tom Sauer. Tom, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Jackie.
Really great talking to you, and I know we were just going over in the break what we learned from Trey's reporting, from the president's truth. Start us off here. What are your takeaways about where things stand?
Right now, this shows that the president's winning, right? I mean, truly, remember, what was the original intention of this? Was to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon, from ever getting one, right? And it looks like the blockade is working. Now they're coming to the table. That was a thing that President Trump wanted from the start. Right now. And so now we have a preliminary agreement. Iran is saying, as reported in the New York Times, that they plan on giving up the enriched uranium. And right now, I mean, this is turning into there's a huge win for the president. The blockade worked. This is classic 120-year-old naval strategy of just choking them off economically. And what's very different here is a lot of people are upset, but usually the people who are upset are all the wrong people. So usually the warmonger types and also those who are not exactly on the president's side. Let's just say that. But right now, it's like this looks like a huge win for the president.
So there was a caveat in Trey's reporting that if it looks like the final deal is going to have enrichment, there won't be a deal.
Right.
So obviously, you'd expect our forces to remain in the region while this is all worked out. How do you think the U.S. has been using the time in this ceasefire to ready itself in case some kind of kinetic action has to happen? We've
seen tons of reports that are happening right now. We've seen additional assets have been flying into the region for weeks and weeks now. We still have Marine expeditionary units from, I think, the Tripoli and the America Mew have been in the area, and you've got, on each of those, you got thousands of Marines who will be really upset if they don't get to kill anybody this year, right? And you've also got an entire brigade combat team from the 82nd Airborne. But here's the thing, that threat is there, but nobody's looking for some occupational force or land war like some sort of this forever war. No, this is using naval power, right? And this is using sanctions to get what we want. And really what we want, we've never stated that we wanted an overthrow of the Iranian regime, because we just know that's just not really all that achievable, not without horrible cost to civilians and to our armed forces. So right now, it's like we are getting what we want out of it. And the only card that Iran ever really had to play at all now was the Strait of Hormuz, of harassing fires and the threat of mines towards shipping traffic right now. So right now, if they're going to open the strait, conditional sanctions, we're watching their every move. And we've got the carrot and the stick, right? So this is the carrot where they might see some unfreezing of sanctions, or unfreezing of assets, lightening of sanctions. And then commerce will be able to flow right back to where they were pre-war. But since then, they don't have a Navy. They have hardly any air defenses. This is looking pretty good.
So obviously, both sides can use a ceasefire to their advantage.
Of course.
The Pentagon's been pushing back very strongly on reports suggesting that the U.S. has not fully decimated their military capabilities there in Iran. But there have also been some assessments to suggest that the things that they can do quickly, like drone production, for instance, they might have been doing. What are your thoughts on that?
They might have, but there might be some. But at the same time, we took out almost their entire industrial base, right? And drones can be built cheaply and quickly. They might try something. Of course they will. They might try it. But at the same time, it's like there will be severe consequences. Again, we've been watching their every move. I mean, I think Secretary Hegseth said that in a press conference weeks ago, that fine, if they want to start making moves, not like we're not watching their every move, what's happening right now. And, if they do decide to violate the ceasefire, I think that they would regret it. What is left of their regime will probably regret it.
I want to ask you a separate but related question.
Sure.
This week, the acting Navy secretary said that the Taiwan arms sale is on hold because of the Iran war. Here's what he said here.
Now we're doing a pause in order to make sure we have the munitions we need for Epic Fury, which we have plenty, but we're just making sure we have everything. But then the foreign military sales will continue when the administration deems necessary.
Do long-term contracts typically have that kind of nexus with our current operations? Does what he said make sense? And if it does, what does that say about our military readiness right now?
I'd say, first, I was really glad you showed my friend and fellow former Navy EOD guy, Hung Kao, on there. He's phenomenal. We're really happy to see him as a secretary. But Right now, with a lot of foreign military sales, they come through starts and stops, right? And they might have paused. It might have had something to do. This is informed speculation. Might have had something to do with some of the negotiations that we had with China in President Trump's recent trip, which is pretty successful. But we'll really just have to see how that plays out. But also, we've made it really clear, both at the uniform level and also at the secretary level, that we have the munitions we need. Yes, munition stockpiles are always a concern. We always make sure we want to have more than enough to do what we want to do. But I'm not terribly concerned about that right now, and I'm sure that our posture with regard to Taiwan, I think we're doing all right there.
Okay. All right. Tom Sauer, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Great to talk to you.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Jackie.
you.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
You too.
Cheers.